Kurt Busch, Reed Sorensen, Ryan Newman, and Jeff Gordon, the top 10. Pit road has not yet opened. And here's another look at Johnson's crash.
Watch how fast this thing turns sideways. Not much you can do. There's nothing you can do. Hang on.
You're just riding at that point.
There you see him climbing out of the car. That was a few moments ago. And the safety crew working to get the car on the flatbed and off the track. Pit road remains closed. And it will be interesting to see what strategies play out here when pit road does open. Report is that pit road will be open this time.
Well, I think we should hear from Larry. Oh, that's right. Larry's on the run.
Larry's on a mission down there right now. He's researching some tire questions. But I will give you just a second here. You're leaving tonight?
Tonight.
For the charity ride.
Leave from here to go to the charity ride. And then Davis Love III was with us until this morning. Now he's headed over to the British Open. I saw the British Open promo for TNT. Right. Excited about watching that Thursday morning. I promise I'll get up at 6 o'clock to watch it on TNT before I head out on our charity ride again. But yeah, we do the Chick-fil-A charity ride every year. And this year we're going north to south, Maine to Miami. So sorry to the people on the East Coast when we terrorize your town when we come through. But it's all for a good cause. It's for the Victory Junction Gang Camp, and we're stopping at a couple of children's hospitals.
You go through Tiny Town?
Could go through Tiny Town. You never know, man. Yeah, that would be a special place to visit.
Pit road is open. I knew not to give you guys just open the door a little bit and I end up under the bus. Here they come, Lindsay.
Oh, yes, they do. The big question, are they going to take tires or just do fuel? The number 17 of Matt Kenseth is going to come down pit road. Matt, on last report, it said the car a little bit tight. They're definitely going to give him enough fuel to get in there. And that's all it's going to be, guys. Ralph.
It's going to be fuel only, just 2 seconds worth of fuel for Tony Stewart. They're going for track position. For Kevin Harvick, he's a touch tight. Air pressure adjustments as he only takes right side tires, Matt.
Darian Grubb said he would make the call when they were on pit road. He's yelling out 2 tires. They only need about 3 seconds of fuel. They are full and he is away.
Wow, Kurt Busch picking up 4 spots. Marty?
Well, guys, Dale Earnhardt Jr. on pit road. It was a belt that came off of the 8 car. What they did was they got another belt, and all Junior did was shut the engine off. They put it around the casing, and they turned it over one time. That spun the belt back on. So, in theory, Dale Earnhardt Jr. should have power steering when he goes back out. It'll be 4 tires. Junior said, I like the chassis. Learned a lot, though, without that power steering. I need to work out a little bit more is what he said.
Wow, that's a good job by those guys. Still under caution. We'll come back to Chicago. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Less than a lap from going back to green. Now it's time for our Nextel Getting It Done call of the race. And we'll let Wally make that call.
For what?
Nextel call of the race.
We'll give it to Marty Snyder for a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Marty.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'd say you got to go with Kurt Busch.
I think you got to go with Kurt Busch too.
Yep.
That's he's up to 3rd spot. Had to start at the back because of an engine change.
Got limited practice here on Friday. So our Nextel Getting It Done call of the race to Kurt Busch, currently in the 3rd position. More on Earnhardt from Marty.
Well, guys, just to clarify with Earnhardt Jr., what happened was when they were trying to get the belt on, the power steering pump seized up. So Jr. actually does not have power steering. They tried to get it on there, thought they could get it on there, but at the last second it seized up and it didn't work out.
Oh, boy, good. Restarts are going to be fun.
That's going to be huge on restart. But that was what I was going to go to before we went to commercial, was to say a lot of times the fluid gets so hot, it bakes everything inside the pump, and the pump seizes up itself, and it doesn't work even though you think you have a belt on it.
Well, you're just full of good news.
I've been there.
Stewart is the leader, but here comes Matt Kenseth.
Whoa!
Tony went up high to block. Matt's going to try down low for the lead. tell you that Jimmy Johnson has been treated and released from the infield care center. Side by side for the lead.
Whoa, Stewart really came down the racetrack there. I think tried to get in front of the 17 of Kenseth, but Kenseth is still there.
Matt a little loose. Okay, we'll watch this for the lead, and let's check in with Marty.
And good to report Jimmy Johnson has come from the care center as we watch that battle for the lead. Any indication that tire was going down, Jimmy?
No indication. I did get a little bit looser that run chasing Tony, so maybe there's a warning sign in there, the tire coming apart. But man, when that thing exploded, I thought the drive shaft came out of the car. It was so violent, and then spun around and into the wall.
Saw you kind of rubbing your arm. You okay?
Yeah, I popped my elbow on the seat, and it was, kind of hit my funny bone. It was tingling for a little bit there, but maybe just a bruise on my elbow and knocked the wind out of me a little bit. I haven't hit hard in a while, and that certainly was one of those. But as fast as I was going, I knew it was going to be a bad impact.
Good news is Jimmy's okay. How's that battle for the lead, Weber?
Stewart has it. Kenseth wants it. Let's get a report from Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, guys, I just left the garage, and of course Ron Malik, that entire 48 group with Goodyear engineers had surrounded that right rear tire. And what I was trying to find out, we've heard everybody hunting grip. We've heard about guys being loose. That will tend to let these guys take air pressure out of the right rear, and you go so low, you hurt the durability of the tire. That does not appear that that's the case, that they had not got aggressive with that right rear air pressure. Right now, the tentative diagnosis is just the fact that maybe he cut the tire down.
Thanks, Larry. Appreciate you checking into that.
We saw Tony early in the day. He was one of the cars that really just would gas and go. We saw the 29, the 41, and Tony at that point in time. So they know what their car is. If Tony's comfortable with their car, obviously he told those guys, hey, I can go on gas and go. Just fill her up and let me go. These tires are going to be good. The clean air is better for me. So just like Larry said, and like Wally said, and like you guys talked earlier, if you're going to try something, try it early in the race, because if it works, you go back to it at the end of the race. If it doesn't work, you never do it again. It worked for these guys, and they went right back to it.
Strong run for Stewart today. Now Kyle Busch has fallen back to the 17th position. That's the last car on the lead lap. Ralph has that story.
Well, the 10 of the 5 of Kyle Busch had some problems. Just about 10 laps before that caution came out a few minutes back. He got real loose, brushed the wall. They came in, put some tape on the car. It's pretty much just a cosmetic issue for Kyle Busch.
Thanks, Ralph. See the tape on the rear of that car.
Problem is he's got a lot of traffic to work through in order to get to Stewart. I mean, you got Stewart and Kenseth out there. They're just sailing right now because they've got clean racetrack. These guys that are back here in the 15th, 16th position, really 25th or 30th, because there's a lot of cars a lap down or more. This is where you get into a situation where if you don't have the track position by now, they're pretty much in trouble.
Yeah, and I know everybody listening to this gets tired of us talking about track position and aero, but that's what these races are all about. That's what they are right now. You take a car that can lead and dominate and drive away and put them halfway through the pack, and they can't pass but 3 or 4 cars. I don't care whether it's Tony Stewart or Jeff Gordon or Jimmy Johnson. I don't care how talented these guys are. Without the aero or the clean air to run out front, these guys struggle back in the pack.
That's 9th and 10th. Jeff Gordon in the 24, Ryan Newman in the 12. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has now fallen to 17th. That makes him the final car on the lead lap. He runs about 9 seconds behind the race leaders.
I think Junior's just going to be happy to be able to stay on the lead lap and get a finish out of this thing right now.
Yeah, and the one thing, we talked about him being 12th in points. Jamie McMurray was 13th. Right. We saw what happened to Jamie. So there is that little bit of cushion. There's not many points in there. You can't afford to give up any race or any points. So he needs to hang on and get those extra 3 points for finishing 17th instead of 18th.
Race leader is Tony Stewart. Ralph's had that car all day.
Oh, that we have, Bill. And the best car in his stable is chassis number 120. This is chassis 143, which was built to be a clone to that car. This car has gone through 5 different bodies and 3 different front clip designs as they've tried to match the aero numbers to chassis number 120. They think they have finally done it. And Lindsay, the way this car is running today, it might start matching chassis 120 in the win column.
Well, Ralph, Matt Kenseth certainly hopes that that's not what happens, because he wants to win here so badly he can taste it. This, of course, because it's his hometown track. He said there are more 17s here than any other track he ever visits. He would love to do it for the fans, and right now he thinks that his car is good enough to get up there and get past them.
Tell you, that 17 pit, that's a fun pit to have, especially in these situations.
And this is a Matt Kenseth type of race.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If it would go green from here out, this could be a Matt Kenseth kind of race, because he's that guy that's just there in the top 5 or 10 all day long. And when it comes time for the money payoff, he's the one that's going to force the issue and make something happen.
Edwards just got 5th from Casey Mears. NASCAR looking at some possible debris around the start-finish line. Keep in mind, Tony Stewart has not won in 2007. He's the race leader right now. More on Mears from Matt.
Bill, he just lost the 5th position. He's been loose all day long, and he came on the radio moments ago and says, now I am way too tight. So it's gone from one end of the spectrum to the other for Casey Mears. Remember what I told you earlier, when he gets someone directly in front of him, it really slows his car up aerodynamically. It just really slows down, and he loses even more ground, and that's what's happening.
Thanks, Matt. Tony Stewart is the race leader, 25 to go. The 18 off the pace. We have one commercial set to get in. Do that now. Come back for the finish. Under caution here at Chicagoland. NASCAR on TNT. Handful of cars on pit road. But most of the leaders stayed out. There you see Jeff Gordon coming to pit road. Kyle Busch. Pablo Montoya.
Why not? Where those guys are running, what's the difference?
Yeah.
You may as well come in and put tires on. You got absolutely nothing to lose. There's only 17 cars on the lead lap, and you're sitting back there in 15th or 14th or whatever.
Still working caution here at Chicago. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing from Chicagoland is brought to you by Vitamin Water. It works for Casey Kane. By the auto parts experts at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. By DirecTV, ride shotgun on race day with NASCAR Hot Pass only on DirecTV. And by MVParents.com. Visit MVParents.com, sponsored by the Coors Brewing Company. Let's check in with Ralph Shaheen.
Well, we're down here with Greg Zipadelli, who's watching his car in the lead. All right, Greg, we're getting down to the closing stages here. Do you have enough car left?
I think so. The Home Depot Chevrolet has been pretty good all day. These guys done a great job on pit road, and now we've been a little free, and we've been starting that way so we can we're good at the end. And I think it was us to 48. He had some tough luck, but 16.99, 17.99. They look like they're pretty good in long runs, but hopefully this is what we need here. Cool tires down. We were just starting to pull away from them guys. I'd like to see it go green from here on out.
Marty.
Well, Ralph, I think it was appropriate that some of the booth guys gave the Nextel call of the race to this race team. Kurt Busch and his team started 43rd, currently in 5th. That's been an impressive day, Pat.
Yeah, the Miller Lite dive's been pretty good all day. Kurt did a great job in the first couple of runs because it was all green, and he drove all the way up to 13. We picked him up some spots on pit road. The Miller Lite Dodge pit crew's done an awesome job, too. So we're having a good day, and hopefully we can finish off here. Still a long ways to go.
Now the question is, can they get around 4 more cars and maybe pull off the win, Weber?
Thanks, Marty. Now let's show you why we're under caution. You saw J.J. Yaley slowing before we went to break. On board with Dale Earnhardt Jr. looking down the track. And this is the second time. Yaley up into the wall. And that brought out the caution. 20 laps to go. So you see Matt Kenseth in the 17 right behind Tony Stewart. And of course, you might remember from 1 year ago, Kenseth was leading. Jeff Gordon was behind him. There was contact on the track. Kenseth spun. Gordon went on to win. Now Matt runs second.
Actually, there was contact on Kenseth's bumper.
Yes, you're right. And that occurred where?
On the track.
Thank you. Boy, oh boy. This is how it went down 1 year ago here at Chicagoland. Matt in the 17, Jeff Gordon in the 24. Contact on the bumper. Gordon raced on to take the checkered flag. Lindsay?
Crew Chief Robbie Reiser watching as Matt Kenseth is now on the second spot. What was your strategy back there not taking any tires, Robbie?
Well, we've been running good all day, and it's been running green, so I didn't want to